Hello there, welcome back. In this video, we will be seeing how to authorize your user using JWTs, also how to hide any sensitive data from the code. So let's jump into it. Let's first see how to remove any sensitive information. Go to your repository or your mongodb.ts, whatever you have named it, and here we can see we have our password and username exposed, or rather we do not want to show the whole URL to anyone. It is a very sensitive information and it is important that we save all these information somewhere else. So how do we do that? Very simple. All you have to do is remove it from here. First, you need to create an environment variable. Now, for this video, I will be creating an environment variable via the terminal, but in actual production, you have a Kubernetes cluster which will have the environment variable. So to do that, just export, give it some name, say Mongo URL, and then just paste it here and enter. So it'll create a URL, a Mongo URL as a environment variable for this project. Now, how do we get this environment variable is very simple. All you need to do is deno.env.get and the environment variable name, which is Mongo URL in our case. Let's save it. Say denon run all those flags, allow net dash dash allow read dash dash allow write dash dash allow env, as we need env environment variable we are accessing, then dash dash allow plugin dash dash unstable and app.ts. Yep, it's compiling. Error. Okay, so here it requires a string. So what do we need to do is it will be, as it can be an object, it can be anything. TypeScript does not know what type of data it is sending, the environment variable. So we need to specify what the type of the data is and we need to convert it. So how do we do it? We say as string. We are importing or getting this value as a string. So let's just go ahead and save it. It should restart the server. And yeah, you can see server is up. So let's hit our postman. The same thing. We have our body. Let's see if it's working still. So just say send. Yeah, so logged in. So you can see there was no effect in the code. All we did is hide the actual URL so that we don't expose any sensitive data to the outer world or to anyone for that fact. Now let's see how to implement JWTs. Open up your Google Chrome, search for deno.land. We will be using a third-party module called DJWT. DJWT. Open it. So what we do here is we copy this line to get this import. Go back. That we need in user as we will be making the JWTs in the user controller. Paste it. So here we will be setting an expiration time for 1 hour. Uh, for our actual code, we will be setting for 1 hour, but to show you how JWTs work, I will be setting for now it for 1 minute. So how do you create? So you have these two things. One is JOS and payload. So what are those? So what it expects here, according to the documentation, to create JWT, we have a function make JWT where we need to give a header, payload and key. Key is a simple string type. Payload and header are defined as payload and JOS. That we need to define. And then is /n is very important, as without /n it won't work. I've faced very many issues. I've been debugging it for a very long time. Then I finally realized that I had missed a slash n and it's not working. So you remember you have to use slash n. So let's see how to create JWTs. Now, when do we create a JWT? We create a JWT when we lock the user in. Without that, we do not want to create a JWT. So what we say is we have to create two objects first. One is a payload and a header and a string type key. So key is your secret. We want the secret to be secure because the security of JWT depends on the secret that you are sending or the secret that you are using. So we want a strong secret. How do we get a strong secret? Just search for password generators online. Generator. You can go ahead and create a strong random password. You can use any string. For now, I'll be using default 16 string. So I'll generate a password. Another something strong. Yeah, this looks strong. So let's copy this and make this as a string. Key, sorry. So it'll be const key is equals to paste it. So this is a key. Next step is to create a payload. Payload is what the actual data will be. So how do we need two things? ISS is the actual data that you want to send or whatever. It can be anything. For this matter, it's Joey. For our case, we will be sending the object ID. And the second thing is the expiration date. For that, we need to set an expiration date so that we can say that this user is authorized for 1 hour, 2 hours, or a whole day, something like that. So we create a payload, say const payload, which will be equal to ISS. And for our case, we will be sending the user ID back. So we get the user. How do we send the user ID? User has a field called underscore ID, which is automatically generated by the MongoDB server, which we will be importing as object ID. Object ID. It should be in the MongoDB import. So let's see why it's not coming. There is no suggestion. Okay, we'll take care of that later. Dot dollar OID is the actual field and that we will be sending as toString. Okay, so it's not coming. What we can do is copy this and import the object ID function here. Object ID. Yep. So you can see the error has gone. Now let's see if the OID is valid. Sorry, OID is valid. Okay, it's still not showing any suggestion. Let's just see. Then we'll set the expiration time exp as set expiration. You can see the format is you need to tell a new date in dot get time. It'll get the current time plus the time till you want it to expire. So for this case, they have set it as 60,000 milliseconds, which is equal to 1 minute. So for our case, we'll set it the same. We can say new date dot get time plus 60 into 1000. There we go. We have our expiration. Put the comma there. Our payload is ready. Now, the header is the important part. Header tells what the algo type will be and what the content type will be. For our case, we are using JWTs and we will be using the default algorithm that is given here. There are many different algorithms, you can check it. For our case, we will be using the HS256 algo. So all we need to do is say const header, type will be header. Oh, sorry, type will be, I'm very sorry, type will be JWT. Then we set the algo is of HS256. Then we have after algo what we had type. Yeah, type will be JWT. So we have our data ready. Now what we need to do, okay, you can see it downloaded the DJWT library. So now what we need to do is we need to actually create the jot. So how do we create a jot? It says you need to pass this function. That's it. All you need to do is call that function. So we'll say const JWT that we created is equal to mk JWT with the object header payload payload and then key and append that slash n. Do not forget to append the slash n or else your code won't work. So that is how we do it. All we need to do is send back that JWT logged in and we can say with JWT is equivalent to JWT. All right. Okay. It's throwing an error. mkjwt header slash n. Okay. Okay. I missed the bracket. I placed the bracket at the wrong place. Sorry. Okay. So we need to do this. We need to create the JWT and then append the slash n. So that was the mistake. Then it's fine. I'll save it. Wait for the server to start. Yep, server is up. So let's go back to our local host. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, so here we have our JWT. So this is the jot that has been generated for us. We can go ahead, copy this. I will show you what the JWT is. We can open up a Google Chrome again, go to jwt.io, I believe. Yeah, jw.io. Here you can decode the algorithm. See, you can see the header and the payload type. It is a payload type and header for this JWT, but we want to see for our JWT. We paste it, and what we can see, ISS is the object ID. So now to confirm it, we can go to our MongoDB server, check the OID that is given there for our user, enter your credentials. Yep, it's open. Go to projects, to do app, then we'll go to our collections. It'll take some time. Yep, you can see the object ID is 5EEF. Here also we have 5EEF. So we have got the object ID. Now it shows the expiration time also and the algorithm used. Now if after 1 minute we try to access the same, it'll throw error. So if I just still time, so let's just wait till 1 minute and then see what happens. So this is how you basically create a JWT. How it will be used, we will be studying in the further episodes or further lectures. For now, it is important to see how to create a JWT and how to you hide all the sensitive information. You can create a environment variable and you need to get that environment variable as a string or whatever you are specifying the environment variable to be. So yeah, so you can see it's an invalid signature now. See, you can see it's an invalid. It's not there. It's no longer available. That is what it is important. So your user can only be logged in for 1 minute. It will not accept or the token will expire after 1 minute. So that is how user authentication happens with JWTs. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.